Have you ever heard of house hushing? I hadn't until about a year or two ago, maybe, and I thought it'd be something I'd like to try. Basically, what it is a method of decluttering that was introduced back in 2015 by Michelin Smith, and I hope I pronounced her name properly. And what it is basically you remove everything in a room. You do one room at a time. Take as much stuff out as you possibly can, all the knickknacks, all the little things, maybe even some of your furniture. Now, you may not be able to take all the big furniture out because there's nowhere else to put it, but you take out as much as you can, and then you just leave it. No decisions to make, you're just emptying the room. And then at least 24 hours later, you can come back and start putting things back in, and very intentionally put back in the things that you want back in it. So I thought I would try that. So if this is something that interests you, please keep watching, and I'll see you at the end. Now, if you watched my previous video on making over my dining room, you know that I painted out my accent wall in a light gray, the same as the rest of the kitchen. And at the same time, I touched up some spots on this wall and that wall over there. And in this wall especially, you can see where there's like gray paint there. I thought it was white paint when I was touching up those spots. So I have to repaint. I'm going to keep the same colors, the white on this wall and the dark navy on the other. There's a few spots that need fixing up, but as I mentioned in my dining room video, a lot of times you can't get away with just touching up a little spot here. If it's been a while, that paint may have faded or changed color a little bit. So you have to do the whole wall. So I thought this would be a great opportunity. I'm going to fix the paints on the wall. I'm going to do the house hushing thing at the same time. And then I'm also going to be doing spring cleaning because we're getting to that stage. Thank God. Before I get started on hushing, spring cleaning, and touching up the paint in my living room, thought I should give you the before. I have a few things I have to put away, like my winter gloves there in front of the fireplace, which I'm hoping I won't have to use again for a very long time. I got a bag of shredding over there that I gotta put out in recycling. On my bookcase over there, things tend to pile up there. That's where my little clutter pile is in this room, usually. Got some of the dog toys around. And there's Misha up there watching, wondering what the heck is going on here. But anyway, you can see the different color paint there that I've already pointed out. Yeah, so this is the before. I'm going to start moving stuff out. Well, I've got most things out of here. I've left the sofa and the area rug and that one little table so I could put my tea on it. Obviously, I've left the TV. I also left the modem and my VCR and phone there hooked up. And I also left the floor lamp that I have here. So, it's looking pretty bare. Sounds a little echoey to me. But, yeah, I can see all the little imperfections in the wall here. So I wanted to work on that. And, yeah, even up there I see some imperfections not too happy with. So I'm going to try and start fixing the walls, and I'll go get my paint stuff. This is where I put most of my things for my living room. As you can see, all over my dining room table, and the desk is down there. And I've got some more furniture back here, the shelves, and my little desk chair. So I brought all my paint stuff up here, and I'm going to get to work. So I got all the wall patched up there, and just have to wait for it to dry a little bit more before I can start painting. So I thought I'd try a little experiment here. I wasn't happy with the way the wall was turning out. I was still seeing imperfections. And as my boyfriend pointed out to me, really what you should do is mud the whole wall and sand that down. Well, I'm no good at mudding. I'm really not wanting to pay anybody else to do it right now. And my boyfriend's kind of busy at the moment too. So I thought what I would do instead is try and just sand it down, try and get the texture somewhat consistent throughout. And I also brought up this can of paint and primer, which is a dark blue. It's not the same as this one. Because I do know that it does help to put a bit of primer on any, spots that you have to fill in. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I finally finished painting this wall. It took me several days, constantly going back and doing a little bit more sanding and touching up, and it's a lot better than it was. It's still not perfect, but I think I can live with it the way it is right now. See, there are still some imperfections on it, but you have to be really up close to see them. And I think it's better than it was. So I'm just gonna call it a day and start putting things back. So this is a variation of furniture arrangement. I haven't bothered putting any of the accessories back in. Not sure I'm liking it, really. I think it looks a little bit crowded over there in that corner there. But I've got a few other ideas. I'm going to switch things up. I have actually removed the one ottoman that was in front of the teal chair when it was in this corner. But I thought I'd try and switch things up a bit here. So this is my second option, where I've just moved the teal chair from that corner over there to over here. I like this a little bit better. It seems a little bit more balanced. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to come in here and put my feet up. So here's another option here. Again, I just have that there. I'm going to try and move that around a little bit. Okay, so here's another idea with my desk at an angle, and I've removed that extra little shelf thing completely. And still not loving it. Might look better when I had more things in it. Okay. This sectional chaise sofa is actually reversible. Like I can move that to the other side, but it's a whole process. I actually have to take the arm off and put it back together the other way. So I'm going to leave it like this for now and see if this works for me. I think it might actually work better if it's flipped around, but I don't want to do that right this second. As you can see, I have rearranged the furniture again. Now I've temporarily removed the area rug because it's a lot easier moving the furniture around without it there. And once I'm happy with an arrangement, I will put it in however it best fits. As you can see here, I've moved back in this little shelf thing there to kind of fill that corner. And I put the desk against the back wall there. And it's never good to be facing the wall when you're sitting at a desk. So I'll have to put a mirror there. We'll see how that goes. Another thing I decided to do, I've removed a couple of the cushions that I normally have on here. If you remember back in the beginning, I had an aqua one and a teal one. And I've also changed out the cushion covers on my faux fur things. So I got these. I think they look a little bit more springy, and the faux fur ones would be better for winter. Now, the way this chair is positioned here, it's kind of facing into the sofa. So it's more of a conversation area. If I was to have guests over and we were going to be watching a movie or something, we would have to turn that and maybe bring it back a bit so it'd be more comfortable to watch TV. But I think that would be very easy to do, and for a temporary thing. But I don't mind it set up like this right now. All right, so I'm finally done with my living room refresh, repainting, spring cleaning, and house hushing. I spent probably about 4 days with the painting of the walls, trying to get as many imperfections as possible out of the navy blue wall. And I also had to touch up all the white walls and the baseboards. And then, of course, I found out that I needed to touch up the paint on the built-ins. And then, of course, I cleaned. I steam cleaned my couch and chair and ottomans. I washed the windows. I cleaned my TV. Oh, that was dusty. And I even cleaned the fireplace screen, which was also really dusty. And I gradually, very slowly and intentionally put things back. So if you're going to try this experiment, give yourself a lot of time to do it. As you can see, my desk is now here against the wall. I put the mirror there because you should never be facing a wall when you're sitting at a desk. You need to be able to see what's behind you. I ended up putting my picture and my C back up in the same spot there. I had left it bare for quite a bit. I think like 2 or 3 days at least. And I was thinking about it. I really love that picture and I want to see it. And that's pretty much the best place for it to go. So that's where that went. And I ended up putting that picture back up there too. That's I think they call that the Lionsgate Bridge in BC. It was, the colors there are soft enough, muted enough that I thought they weren't going to clash too much with this picture, which I also really like against the navy wall. Now, I ended up kind of decluttering a couple of photo albums, well, one photo album, one scrapbook album, and kind of consolidated them. So these are the ones I'm left with. And I had tried them over on my built-ins there, but I found that the dark color, they were just too heavy looking. I didn't like them there at all. So I thought, I brought these shelves back in and that's where they're going to live. And I think it also helps to give a little bit more balance in the room. You probably recognize this glass jar thing. That was also up top where the white horse head was. And the white horse head used to be up there. And I have brought the bust of Apollo here that was in my entrance hall. So I would sit at my desk here and look at the bookcase and see how everything looked in relation to each other. And I really liked the bust of Apollo there and the bust of Diana the Huntress up there. Now, I think I already mentioned that I removed the area rug temporarily because it's easier to move furniture around when I didn't have to struggle with the area rug underneath it. And then I decided I'm going to leave it out for the summer anyway. I think it is a little bit cooler looking and it'll be easier to keep clean. So that's the way it is for the summer. We'll see how that goes. And I did leave some space here so I can easily walk all the way around. And then I have the final result of my bookcase. And I did take a few things from other rooms and mixed my accessories around a little bit. And I would put things here and I would look back and I'd contemplate it for a few hours. That's why it took me so long. It took me like a full day yesterday just doing the placement here and over there on the other side, because there has to be a balance kind of between the two. I ended up leaving my picture of my mom up there and my nephew over there. So that's where they're going to stay for now. When I actually get ready to sell the house, when it's imminent, I will be removing the personal photos and I'll probably just put like maybe maybe I'll put a small landscape picture or something else up there that is, not so personal. So this side of the bookcase is also looking not quite as full, obviously. I tried to leave as much white space as I could. I'll show you where I put all the books that used to be there. You may have noticed those two photo boxes were on the other side. The Outlander DVD was on a different shelf. These coffee table books were on that other little shelf in the corner. And I did keep this little oriental box that was my grandmother's and just has business cards in now there. And I moved some of my DVDs into the drawers. So I'll show you that in a minute. I initially did this shelf first. It's got my DVD player here and my modem. It's got a plug back there and it's got a ton of cords that I want it to hide. And so that's why that and that are there. And this thing here too, to a lesser degree. They're mainly to hide the quartz. And I wasn't 100% happy with it, but I'd rather look at this than a pile of messy quartz. So this is where I put all those extra books that used to be in my built-ins in the living room. In my drawers here, now I didn't go through these this week. I've got like CDs, DVDs, a couple of little 45 records there. I added my Outlander DVDs here, a few other things. This I'll probably have to go through and see if I can declutter stuff. And on the bottom shelf, I've got a whole bunch more DVDs. So that's what I've got in there. I did end up bringing back this one little picture that I like on the mantle, because I do have a thing for pictures. So anyway, this is my completed living room for the spring. So what do you think? Are you going to try house hushing? If you've stayed to the end here, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you've got some good tips or at least a little bit of inspiration. Just keep in mind, take your time, okay? So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.